Hello, my name is Jessica, and I am thrilled to welcome you to The Walking Dust. So first things first, what is that? Well, it's a web page and more importantly, a series of online worship experiences that I'll be posting throughout Lent. I'll be posting each Tuesday, and then I'll post several times during Holy Week. And my goal for this worship experiment is really just to have a space and a place to come and worship in ways that feel authentic, in ways that are challenging, in ways that are open to a wide variety of voices and interpretations that sometimes traditional worship can't do. And I also started this website and this worship experiment because I was noticing that lots of people I was talking to were telling me that they felt like they needed to go somewhere for Lent to mark that time, but that church wasn't necessarily it, or at least traditional church. And that was for lots of reasons. Some folks were just fellow church professionals who were so busy that anytime they spent in the church building where they worked really was work, and so they couldn't get worship out of it. For some others, they had been badly wounded by the church and didn't feel comfortable setting foot in a church building, but felt a real desire to reconnect with God and community. For still others who might not be Christian or might not claim any faith at all, there was still a deep desire to think about faith and think about repentance and sin and reconciliation and what that all looked like. And some folks said, well, I think the Christians kind of focus on that this time of year. And so what I'm hoping to do with this is to offer a space for all of those folks. For anyone who wants to know more about Lent, wants to experience Lent in deep ways, wants to talk about Lent with others. And so, this time together will take a lot of different formats. To be honest, once I get better at cutting and merging audio recordings and all that kind of stuff, we might have some that are all audio. This week it will be some audio clips and then a lot of text. So what will happen is you'll click on the song or the audio clip to hear me or others talking, and then you'll read through the worship. You can read the prayers and the other worship pieces aloud or to yourself, alone or in a small group, whatever works best for your needs. So why The Walking Dust? Why that title? Well, first thing, I have to give props to my friend John Longworth, who came up with the title. He is much better than I at that sort of thing. And it's for a couple reasons. Partially, it is because of the direct connection to the first day of Lent for Christians, Ash Wednesday. And this is a day on which Christians are marked with the sign of the cross with ashes on their forehead. And what that represents for us is a reminder that we come from the dust and will return to the dust, and that death in some ways is always with us. And it connects us to what is the end of Lent with Jesus's death and resurrection. And, I like the idea of us walking through Lent, that this is an active time where we engage in spiritual practices, we engage in more frequent worship, hopefully we engage in more frequent conversations about what faith is, what it means, how we interact with one another as an act of faith. And then finally, and perhaps most importantly, it's called The Walking Dust because I have a very deep love and perhaps slightly unhealthy love of the show The Walking Dead. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm bitterly angry about Glenn's demise, and I'm hoping that he will have a resurrection of his own. So that's part of the reason too. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen during these times together. I know that there will be worship. I know that there will be lots of music. I know that there will be lots of prayer. But I'm hoping that this takes shape partially because of what you want and what you need. And so the comments will be wide open on all of these blogs, these worship sessions. And I invite you, let me know what would feel like more worship to you, Let me know what questions and thoughts you have on the scriptures. Please, if you have scriptures from other traditions or writings that you want to share or music that connects you to the text, share that in the comments as well. I really am hoping for this to be a space where everyone is welcome and everyone can feel like they're worshiping. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and point you to the audio clip that's below this one. This will be our way of having a little processional hymn. And thank you for joining me.